Earlier this afternoon, I spoke with Illinois Congressman and member of the House Intelligence Committee, Congressman Mike Quigley. Welcome back to Politics Tonight. Look, all of these emails, meetings we're hearing about. Donald Trump Jr. was on Fox last night. He explained it all away. Donald Trump Sr.'s lawyer said there's nothing here, no laws are broken. Why won't Democrats let it go?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the first call should have been to the FBI that a foreign national was calling to give them bad information about their opponent. First of all, it's illegal to ask foreign nationals for information about political campaigns. It's illegal to accept campaign donations, in this case an in-kind donation from a foreign national. And by the way, it's extraordinarily unethical and unpatriotic. The FBI director-to-be said today that the first call should have been to the FBI, and in the cases like this, they should have notified them immediately.
You know, Congressman Steve King was on the air this morning, CNN, I think. One of the things he said was he would have handled it exactly the way it was handled. That is to say, if he found out about this information, he would have had his son, it would have rolled down the line, would have had his son check into this. Nothing wrong in gaining opposition research. It's done all the time.
Yeah. This is one of our most notorious enemies, the Russian government, and you're going to them with information. First of all, why did you deny this happened to begin with? Second of all, why was Manafort and Kushner in the room when this was taking place? Why did you say, if it's what I think it is, I love it, especially if it's later in the summer? So this is as close to information involving cooperation between the Trump campaign and the Russian government as we've seen so far.
By the way, one of the things Donald Trump Jr. Said, he did address that late in the summer comment you just made. He goes, hey, the fact that I said late in the summer obviously meant no urgency about this. This didn't mean anything to me. I was new at the game. You accept that?
No, when you say especially later in the summer, if you meant what he said, you said just any time there's no rush. But I think anybody who's been involved in political campaigns understands that if you mean later in the summer, you mean closer to the November election. So basically what he would be acknowledging here is that they worked with the Russians against Hillary Clinton. And they acknowledged what the FBI director, the former FBI director now, has said, that the Russians attacked our democratic system. Let's remember what they did. They hacked into the democratic system. They attacked our democracy, and they're going to come back and do it again if we don't try to stop them. If what Mr. Trump Jr. is suggesting was that it was all okay, then this is going to be an extraordinary investigation, and I would look forward to his testimony before my committee.
Interesting to see the way Republicans connect these dots in a way that sends it in one direction, Democrats sending it in another. I guess my question to you is, are there enough dots to connect to create a story yet?
So I think you have a story. You have a pattern here. You have Roger Stone saying that he knew Julian Assange, and he knew the WikiLeaks people, and he knew the attacks on Mrs. Clinton were coming. He said Mr. Podesta was next in the barrel. He had Mr. Kushner allegedly setting up a back-channel communication with the Kremlin through the Russian embassy. So these are elements of the beginnings of a conspiracy case beyond just campaigning.
So let's play it out that there is something wrong, something illegal happened here. Then Robert Mueller, special counsel, will do something about it. Charges could be filed. That'll be Donald Trump Jr.'s situation to deal with. Nobody's above the law. But as far as congressional investigations and the work that Congress is involved in, how does Donald Trump Jr. get in the middle of that? I mean, your focus is down on him. He's not part of the administration in any formal way.
No, this investigation is four-pronged. It's exactly what did the Russians do? Was there cooperation with any Americans and any Russians? How do we stop this from happening again, and the leaks? Those are the four elements of the investigation. So it doesn't matter if it's the President of the United States or his son or any campaign worker, Mr. Manafort, Mr. Kushner, any of those folks. What our investigation was there cooperation when the Republicans did this? It's also easy to forget that candidate Trump praised WikiLeaks at that time and encouraged the Russians to further hack into her emails. So it's part of a larger story here and a larger investigation. The fact of the matter is it's probably closer to the beginning of the investigation than the end. So whenever I hear folks say, well, is that all there is? We're still just starting this. The dozens of stories we've covered already involving the possibilities of obstruction. Again, all those elements of this investigation are just beginning.
You know, you're a lawyer, so I ask you this question. You're not just a politician talking about this stuff. You understand the way the legal system works. You did say this can take a long time. Indeed, it can take years. So, meanwhile, the country operates, the country functions. There's a lot of tension right now within the government. How long can the country kind of withstand or deal with this pressure, knowing that this investigation may go on for a year, 2 years?
Well, the Watergate investigation took a year, and I would suggest in the final analysis, the system worked in the Watergate system. That's finally what took place. It was able to effectively investigate, find out exactly what happened, and justice was done. So I think Mr. Mueller's investigation could take a year or perhaps two. This is complicated. It's layered. It's textured. As you know, I've traveled to 2 countries investigating this, Ukraine and Cyprus. We need far more resources than we have to find out exactly what took place.
I do have to ask you, for the public who kind of watches this stuff, we know that the Senate, perhaps congressional committees, want to see Donald Trump Jr. For those of us trying to get a sense of where do we watch, where do we keep our eyes to see where this goes, do we want to watch for congressional Senate committees? Is it all with Robert Mueller? That's where the magic happens, in which case we're not going to know anything until some report gets issued.
I think each one of the investigations has its own value and its own strengths. The Senate, the House, and the Justice Department investigation. I think it pays all Americans to stay involved with this as closely as they possibly can. I know it can be difficult at times. It is, again, they're not able to see exactly what's happening, especially with the potential criminal investigation. But when I message this, I'm trying to message to middle America. I want them to understand why this matters and that we're trying to follow the facts wherever they take us. This isn't Benghazi-type investigation, which the Republicans did. We're trying to do this the right way. Because in the final analysis, we could face a constitutional crisis. And I want those Americans to understand that we're trying to do the right thing.
All right, and we will stay in touch with you as this process proceeds. Congressman Mike Quigley, Illinois' 5th Congressional District, thanks for being with me, sir. Always appreciate your time. We'll see you back in Chicago soon.